On the headlines, I'm your host Angela Kabete, and today we are not just skimming the surface. We are diving deep into the story making the waves and raising the eyebrows across our country. And today a person who is joining me, his name is Mr. Kimani, a sharp voice in the world of public affairs, and together we are going to unpack the chaos, comedy and the controversy of Kenya's current affairs. Without further ado, help me welcome him to the show, Mr. Kimani.
Yes.
Well, very good morning to you.
Morning, Angela.
How are you doing?
I'm very good.
How is Kenya?
Kenya is doing well. A few hitches here and there. But as usual, we expected this. Remember, we keep on blaming the government for not doing ABCD. But we lay little regard to the fact that the population is growing. So there is once there is population growth, what do you expect to happen to the economy? We only need some gurus here and there, some experts like Raila Odinga donated some into the government so that they can handle one or two issues and then we get things moving. We're very glad. I'm happy to be at Mizpah Tv this morning, at least to debate one or two things, like you talking about what's happening in the country, what's happening in the county. We are happy as a county. Just the other day, was it yesterday or yesterday but one, we hosted Aden Duale, the CS for health. He came here to, among other things, sensitize Kenyans into registration of She and Sha. Plus, I liked one firm comment that came from him, that going forward, including Nakuru County, there will be no instances of patients sleeping on the floors of medical facilities. If there are no beds, we get beds bought. If there are no rooms to put beds, we get those rooms built. That was a statement coming from Aden Duale when he visited us and played host by Her Excellency Susan Kihika, who again attacked the former deputy president for his utterances against her husband. And I want to echo Her Excellency's words. And you know, Rigathi Gachagua is fond of moving with what is fashionable in the streets, trending, what is spicing up people, what is psyching their morale and all that, without laying emphasis on where he's saying it, to who he is saying it, and even the kind of words that he uses. Remember, he attacked Samburu, the husband to Her Excellency Susan Kihika, on the mere facts, on the mere basis that he has been doing business with the government. Unlike him, who and his siblings, his sons and daughters, were doing business with the government, Samburu has been doing business with the government prior, even before the formation of this particular regime. He did business with Kibaki regime, Uhuru regime, plus now the William Ruto's regime. What's wrong with the Kenyan doing business with the government? I think Honorable Gachagua needs to select his words and also choose his battles wisely. Samburu is not anybody you discuss negatively and you expect Nakuru to go quiet. Much as he comes from Murima, we also have a crater here in Nakuru, and it's known to be a volcanic mountain. So Bwana Gachagua desists from attacking the son of our soil. Remember, when Gachagua was busy firing people from government, Samburu was busy recommending others to be appointed in the government. Remember, it's during this particular regime that we had a friend, a close ally of Samburu, get into a cabinet position. We had Zek Jero heading the prestigious Ministry of Water and even Lands. So that is not a man that we talk negatively about. That's a man we hold in high regard and ought to be respected by everyone, including Rigathi Gachagua.
So just as you have said, he chooses his battles wisely.
He should choose his battles. He should not go fight. He has been fighting the very parliamentarians that he helped, or he alleges having put into office. He has been fighting his boss, the president. He initially fought the former president. Mr. Fight everyone, kindly restrain yourself. I think it's now high time that you turn your battles and come up with objective criticism of the government. I'm really admiring one honorable member for parliament from Keharu, Wanadi Dinyoro. Yeah, just the other day he looked at the way the government is functioning and was categorical and objective in the way he addressed the issue of is it Talanta sports funds. That is the kind of approach that would require from an objective opposition. Opposition is not just hype to hype the emotions of Kenyans towards an election that is not there. Yes.
Okay. And now let's talk about the broad-based government, because you know, let me start by asking, you know, it feels like Kenya is becoming a buffet, you know, where everyone just walks in and choose what they want. There's a statement that ilitoka that is from Edwin Sifuna, and he dismissed the idea of the broad-based government. And he argues that the so-called broad-based government agenda is a betrayal of the opposition role and a silent attempt to co-opt everyone into the government with no meaningful reform. So what is happening in between? Do you feel like kuna a division between the ODM and the broad-based government?
Well, I don't think there is a division, and if there is any, it's a created division.
A created one?
Possibly to sustain ODM as an opposition party. You know, it has been known over time to be the strongest opposition party in Kenya. So they still want to retain that kind of glory in the political arena, yet they are already in government. But if you can go back a little bit and see how the broad-based government came about, what situation were we in as a country? We were in a very volatile kind of stage, and the country was sliding into chaos, into anarchy. And the president, in his wisdom, thought it wise to approach the opposition and get a few brains here and there to come and hype up the operations of the government. And he did not just go picking any Tom, Dick and Harry. When he talks of, he picked somebody like Bahati. Bahati has had the experience of having been the best debater in that particular parliament, and appointing Bahati into the treasury ministry, one that has never gone to the Luo community, was already an indication that the president is now ready to co-opt and to bring on board all the tribes that are in our country, all the formations that are in the country, one, to bring order and peace in the country, of which it happened that the Gen Zs left the streets and they got settled. Only that. And I want to insist that the broad-based government should not just think about their survival, their political survival, but they should take into considerations the issues that were raised by Gen Zs. Because, you know, I've observed the Gen Zs, and I've come to really fear the kind of scenarios that we are experiencing. Somebody saying that I'm not going to the street to be shot, I'm actually going to commit suicide into those streets. So shooting me is another performance. You know, when I heard that from Gen Zs, I came to think we need to sit down. And that's why I've been supportive of the idea that has been footed by the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga about having a broad-based kind of sit together and discuss the issues that are befalling these particular Gen Zs. This is a generation that we really have to take care of. We have to show them the way. And the way is not to hype their political emotions. It's like you are telling them that we have a problem, and the only solution to this problem is polls, is an election. We do not have such a provision in the law. So the provisions that are there in the law is that we can always come together, we can assemble, we can bring different ideas, provided that we maintain peace in this particular loving country.
I'm wondering if you think the main agenda of the broad-based government was to bring peace in our country. During the June protest, what did they do? They did nothing.
Well, much as in, I think that's why I'm reminding them that they failed to cultivate and bring upon themselves the ideas that were floated by the Gen Zs during the protest. Remember that particular time, they had only one agenda. The agenda was the finance bill. But the subsequent demonstrations that we have seen have come up with a lump sum, more kind of proposals. And I think it's imperative upon the government to spread its wings through the elected leaders. We have MCAs, we have MPs, we have senators, we have governors. spread their tentacles, gather information even through the National Intelligence Service, and get to understand what is really paining these particular Gen Zs before they are kind of spiked up by these particular politicians who are in the opposition, because they have their issues, minus the interference and influence from the politicians. Gen Zs have some issues that need to be taken care of, need to be addressed, either by the government or its organs.
But what do you have to say about the statement that the president aliongelea mambo ya parenting with the Gen Zs?
Well, I think some looked at the, I don't know why. I will debate that alongside the statement that he also made about the shoot to mime or shoot to immobilize criminals. These are things that are in the law. When a president restates them, I don't know why we take offense with him. It's like the president wakes up one day and tells us that should anyone defile a young or another age, he is liable to life imprisonment. Just because it has come from the president, we start arguing that no, the president now wants to destroy defilers. No, it is well stated in the law. So statements that come from the leadership of the country and that are well entrenched into our books of law should not be taken to be like they are now directing us or they are dictating us because they are in leadership positions. No. So any statement that is coming from leaders should be weighed upon against the stated Constitution of Kenya 2010. We should not go overboard and comment that no, the president shouldn't have been giving such directions.
No, but if it feels like it was one-sided, at least angesema shoot the young people, but also the police make sure that you're accountable.
Well, I think he was being economic with his words. He would have, had he been elaborate, he would have included such a statement. When he talked about parenting, remember he's talking to the young generation, the young mothers and dads who are bringing up these Gen Zs. All he's saying is, despite the fact that they are far from us, those of us who are in government, there are people who can reach out to them, and the closest are the parents. He didn't mean that the parents have abrogated their duty of care to their kids. No. He was just reminding them that, oh, I have some information that I would like to pass to this young generation, but because I can't reach them directly, kindly, through your parenting, teach them one or two things that will make them better citizens of this particular country. We can't train our kids that every bad thing that happens, every challenge that we face in life is faced by demonstrations. Yes, much as it is a reserve in our constitution in Article 37, we should carefully tell them how to exercise that particular provision of the law, because we've seen people go overboard and misinterpret statements that are coming from the leadership. For example, I've heard people argue about the Anti-Terrorism Act and all that. The act is in the law. It was sat upon by the parliamentarians and they enacted it as a law. Why shouldn't it be used to prosecute criminals? If the evidence provided in the court of law by the investigating officers match the statement that is within that particular act of the law, then the criminal should be held criminally culpable, and the law should take its course. So just like it happened to, was it somebody, is it Teddy Kajwang or Tony Kajwang, who was involved in the swearing in of Raila Amolo Odinga when he was alikuwa anaitwa the people's president. That was treasonable, according to the constitution of Kenya. And that particular time, the Gachagwas, those that are in the opposition, did not find anything wrong with that kind of charge. But today they are up in arms that demonstrators are being charged with acts of terrorism. The law itself defines what that terrorism is all about. Terrorism is not only when we have an Al-Qaeda or an Al-Shabaab come and detonate some explosives in the public and cause damage and cause loss of life. No, even when you deliberately, intentionally attack, destroy government structures, you stop offering of government services, you are a terrorist.
Talking of terrorism, then it means that even those in power, because Tuliona during the protest, some of the people in power, they are paying the young people 2,000 shillings to destroy the structures, the government structures. You know, our mefanyiwa nini.
What is encompassed in that particular section of the law takes care of deliberate actions. Not those that just result from those are spontaneous in nature. For example, if today Kimani is arrested and everybody is informed maybe through social media that Kimani has been taken to Central Police, everybody who knows Kimani storms there and says, no, within 24 hours we want to know what charges are being preferred against Kimani. And out of the animosity there, we find people stopping vehicles, stoning vehicles. That's kind of spontaneous. But should some evidence be brought to court that these people who've been brought before court on this particular day, before the demonstrations that we saw, sat in a certain hotel, did a teleconference, and planned how to execute the kind of looting, the kind of destruction of property, torching of judicial courts, torching of police stations. If these things were premeditated, if a group of people sat down, financed, sponsored, and there is evidence to that, surely the prosecution should take its course.
Okay, so let's see what will happen. And now, away from that, let's dive into other stories, matters to do with the civil servants. I can see a journal saying that civil servants set for a pay rise to caution them against rising statutory deductions. Do you think it's the right time kuongeza mishahara?
Well, in the first place, I think the issue of salaries and the effects on the pay slips are mainly tax-based. Why don't we look at the taxes themselves? If we can relieve these Kenyans from overtaxation, we really don't need to even increase their salaries. Remember, even these increments, I've looked at the kind of increment that has been effected to our teachers. Well, it's a very positive thing. It's a good gesture. It will be spread over 4 years. So if you spread it over 4 years, look at the kind of taxation they are going through. The net effect is minimal but good. I wish we would have a way of looking at our taxes and look at the amount of revenue that is collected that goes into debt settlement. If we are to take care of our debts, such that minimal part of our revenue collected revenue goes into repayment of debt, then we'll have available money to handle the salary increments. But we may effect some salary increment only to be affected by taxes, reducing the net effect of the increment.
Okay, you remember increment, they should check out, because even niliona NURU kwa statement yake alikuwa amesema that the government, imagine they are borrowing from the NSSF to finance some projects.
That's what I'm saying. The government should, first of all, and I don't know, I'm seeing people saying Ruto must go. I wonder why they are not telling their parliamentarians that they should go. We have a parliament given the role of oversight by the constitution. They were supposed to tell the government when it goes beyond the ceiling, the borrowing ceiling. If they went overboard through the available clauses in the law, then the parliamentarians should have come up in arms and amend such laws that are allowing us. I heard NURU, just like you did, talking about how we are also borrowing, not just from NSSF. It's being argued that some of our roads are being constructed from money borrowed from NSSF. What about when our old wazers get to demand their share of NSSF? Where will it come from? Is it another scandal in the offing? Let's first of all cap borrowing from whichever source. NURU talks about we are borrowing from it's like we are using levies as collateral to borrow more. Levies that are not the only thing that makes them a collateral is because it's the government that is in charge of collecting those levies. Suppose we end up not selling fuel, suppose we have reduction in the sale of fuel, shall we have those levies available? They will not be available. So we will end up defaulting as a country. So the best thing to do is, first of all, to curb borrowing. Once we curb borrowing, other issues that are financial related will be taken care of.
And you know, it feels like we have 2 minutes. It feels like our country took on a pesa, because when it comes to the education sector, we can see kuna good schools wamekuwa wakipokea pesa.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I heard there is a school in Bomet that has not been existing, yet it, some 50 million was pumped into that particular
schools.
What is that? And that's where now I blame the government and its enforcement officers, because when did we discover these ghost schools? It's quite a while back.
Yeah.
Why is capitation into these ghost schools still continuing? Is the government aware? Is the government cultivating this particular kind of criminality? Who is behind the funding of these particular ghost schools? Why should we be complaining of insufficient capitation to schools when non-existent schools are still receiving funds? I think on that, we cannot forgive the Ministry of Education and the government at large.
Because you know, tuliona that is the Treasury CS John Badi akisema now they cannot sustain free education.
Why then sustain goes to schools? If you cannot sustain free education, first of all, begin by destroying those goes to schools. Do away with them. Do away with the capitation that goes to those schools.
And they'll have the funds, right?
The funds will be available. The 50 million that was pumped into the goes to schools can now be channeled into financing the free education. And why should we kill the good things that have been cultivated by the previous leaderships? Mwai Kibaki, when he brought the issue of free education to all, understood that you know, education is the equalizer, is the biggest equalizer that we have in the world. And I remember sometime, was it Bill Clinton? There was this president in America who once asked, when asked which African president would you like to meet during your lifetime, he said Mwai Kibaki. And when he was asked about the reasons behind, he cited the issue of free education. He wondered how Mwai Kibaki, in his wisdom, managed to start and begin something from the scratch, something that had not been previously budgeted for, and managed to run with it. Why are we killing such sectors? Why are we giving preference to other non-key segments of operations of the government? I think it's good that we continue cultivating the culture of previous leaderships that was favorable not only to the current generation but to the upcoming generations. And
still, in matters to do with the education, there is a statement that came from the Auditor General Nancy Gathonga, and she said that when it comes to the help, wamekuwa akisema that they don't have the finance, but they have realized they are kumekuwa na undeserved students who have been receiving that is the funds. Students walimaliza shule kitambo.
It's crazy. Yeah, there is no difference between that and the financing of ghost schools, because this financing goes to students and the other one is is financing non-existent schools. These are some of the loopholes that the Gen Zs are getting mad about. They are wondering, how do you finance ghost schools, not 1 year, not 2 years, but in a whole session of your leadership?
Can you say it's ignorance?
Some not just ignorance, but mega ignorance. Yes, if there exists such a word.
And you know, the question is this: now that they have realized this, is it pesa zitarudi kweli?
There should be a committee of inquiry should be formed in Parliament to follow up that matter and ensure even the previously sent monies, distributed monies, their recipients should be known and should be brought to book. Yeah, how can we be paying taxes, have the taxes collected by the government to handle things that are in Article 43 of our Constitution, but they end up in people's pockets? No, that should stop going forward.
It should.
And I believe President William Ruto is capable of handling that, and we appeal to him. President William Ruto, let this be the last time we are hearing the existence of these ghost schools. Fire those people who are in charge. Fire those people who are channeling money. Not reshuffle. Set them packing. Set them home. Why keep on sending monies to ghost schools, non-existent schools? Yet our kids, our schooling pupils and students are crying all over insufficient capitation to schools.
So let's see what will happen. Also on matter to do with the protest, tumeona sasa IPOA, they have released a statement and walisema that kumekuwa na pia 171 police were injured. Wamesema tena 342 civilians were injured and then 65 people were killed. What do you think about this? Will justice be found to these people?
I think IPOA has done a good thing because we were anticipating to have this kind of report and we need a detailed stuff. But I liked one of the recommendations that they had, that of use of technology. They have seen that while they were observing the protests ensue, their video cameras fitted almost everywhere within our CBD, be it Nairobi, be it even here in Nakuru. Where are we not getting evidences presented to the courts of law showing what exactly happened during the protests? The police officers should not only be charged with the carrying of weapons, they should be having communication gadgets that record the happenings as they do. I've not seen any of those heavily built men who we saw carrying miti ya jembe presented anywhere in court. I'm seeing some weakly built boys and girls, ladies being presented in court, but I have not seen any of those heavily built men that we saw throwing stones into window panes, breaking into government facilities and touching them and even looting from them. I've not seen any of them.
Could you say it's because they are financed, you know, to do that work?
Now that's where we are coming in. Where is the evidence? What evidence have brought the young people that we have seen in court, and what is making them not go for those that we saw right in front of shops, looting shops, right into police stations and the judicial setups and putting them into flames? We've not seen any of them around in court. Yet through our recorded videos, through those images that are coming from CCTV cameras fitted along our roads and our streets, we have seen those gentlemen, those gentle ladies not presented in court. And that's where the big question is. Are the investigating officers biased? Why have they left out those criminals that every Kenyan saw with their naked eyes getting into those shops and looting them?
Okay, I hope something will be done. And because the time is up, I want you to describe our nation in 3 words.
Our nation as it is, the state of our nation. Well, I can only tell Kenyans not to lose hope. This country is ours, and we should handle the leadership of the country with love and care, not the kind of acrimony that we are seeing coming from the opposition. And it's not the first time that we are experiencing an opposition in Kenya. Let that excitement not go overboard. We do not have elections this year or next year. The elections that are scheduled in the constitution will come in August 2027. Let's give the leadership of the day time to serve us.
They need time?
They
deserve it?
They do. They do. Assume, put yourselves in their shoes. Assume today you are serving as the president of this particular country. You need to exhaust your time. Remember, he is known to have had a plan. Let's see his plan coming to fruition. He has the timeline that we are not the ones setting the timeline for him. This timeline is set in the constitution. Let's give William Ruto his time up to 2027, just like Raila Amolo Odinga said that ODM is in broad-based government up to 2027. By election time, they will give their way forward. Let's remain as so. Let's support the government of the day until it's election time. We have ABC in office. They will blow the whistle when the time is ripe.
Thank you so much for availing yourself for the show.
Asante.
And we're honored to have had you today.
The pleasure is all mine.
And let's put a pen there. Just a reminder that we'll be having that is the Mizpah School of Intercessory Prayer and Deliverance that will be happening at Mizpah Prayer Center. That is from August 11 to 22nd. So intake is ongoing. This is where you get to be taught. We'll be having that is module 1 to finish a mambo ya deliverance from bondages and curses. Module 2 taught about altars. Module 3 nafundisha mambo ya spiritual warfare. Module 4 will be taught the new creation lifestyle. For more information, please contact 07 0722776653. And in addition to that, we'll be having on August 2nd, we'll be having that is the interdenominational prayer rally that will be hosted by Bahati and Subukia Sub-County Pastors Fellowship. It will be happening at Mizpah Prayer Center, Bahati, Nakuru from 9 a.m. It is free and open to all churches and believers. For more information, contact 07 11 395 570. My name is Angela Kavete. Till next time, bye bye.